Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Jo. This is Joey Soey, as you know, because I'm back now. And today I'm going to start telling you about my style journey. So firstly, before I get into the style journey stuff, I've got to say a gigantic thank you to everybody who sent me such amazing, beautiful, wonderful comments. I feel very lucky that I do YouTube videos in this space, which is so affirming and so welcoming, and it was just really lovely to hear that you've missed me. Didn't expect that, if I'm honest. I thought, it's been so long, you've probably forgotten about me. Some of you will have, I know, but a lot of you got in touch to say you'd missed me and you were really glad that I was back. So that made me even more glad to be back. So thank you very much to everybody who said that. And also, I've said I'm here and I'm going to talk about my style journey. That's because lots of you said that you were going to be interested in that, which is quite a good coincidence because it feels like that's what I've got to talk about at the minute, if I can put my words together. So that's going to be what we talk about to begin with, and the rest of it will work out. So I decided that there's probably going to be 3 videos here. I was holding up 2 fingers. I mean 3. Probably going to be 3 videos here to talk about the different aspects of what I've learnt. All of this stuff, I should say, is based on the Anna Muse Style Sanctuary group and what I've learnt from her. She is amazing, inspirational, lovely, kind. I'm a big fangirl. And if you want to join the group, it is a paid for group, but it's a monthly subscription. I think it's $8.99, and you actually don't have to join for anything more than 1 month. You could join for a month, you could binge on all the content, and then you could leave if you wanted to. I don't think you'd want to, because I think you'll get a lot out of it, but you could. And also, I am absolutely not sponsored or even been asked to do this in any way. It just genuinely has been what's really helped me, and I want to tell you. So I'm a fangirl, but it is purely from the bottom of my heart and not the bottom of my wallet. So the 3 videos that I'm going to do are going to be, if I can remember what I decided, colour, super important, shapes, that's body shapes and clothes shapes because the 2 interact, and fabric, which is type of fabric and print. So I'm not going to do print today with colour. I'm going to do print and pattern and stuff with the fabric one. And there is another aspect actually, so maybe I'm going to do 4 videos. I thought I'd work this out, but apparently not. There is another aspect which is really important, and probably I'll talk about it throughout, which is what Anna calls style personality. And that is really, that's the biggest choice that has nothing to do with what your colouring might be, what your body shape, size or opinion might be. It is all to do with what you want to look like when you get dressed. And the style personality, she has categories because it helps to think about it. The style personalities are things like city chic, romantic, natural, creative, which is me, and dramatic, which is a little bit me. And they kind of define different things that you feel about how you want to look. So if I talk about what creative means, it means kind of quirky. It means that you want to, I was going to say make a statement about who you are with your clothes, but we're all doing that all the time, even if we don't mean to. So I suppose it means that you're interested in more of the creative side of things, which is a terrible description. Dramatic is that it's all about the drama, it's about making a big statement, being noticed. There are no wallflowers in the dramatic side of things. Things like natural are that comfort is your number 1 priority. This does not mean that you can't be stylish, but it's your number 1 priority. And to be honest, natural is a big part of what I feel like, because I will not wear something if it's not comfortable. Don't care how good I look in it. I even took that for my own wedding dress. I wouldn't have worn it if it wasn't comfortable. Luckily I'm comfortable in a corset because I stand up straight. But yeah, so natural is about comfort, but also you can take it to be kind of about a bit outdoorsy, but they can all have that aspect to it. City chic is doesn't have to be in a city, but it looks more appropriate in a city. It's a bit more suited, blazers, pared back, toned down a bit. It doesn't have to be with colour, but with polish. There's a lot of polish in city chic. Romantic is where you'll find florals and very feminine details, lots of dresses, lots of perhaps frills and girly detail and that kind of thing. So you can see in the style personality, there is absolutely nothing about who you are or what you look like that defines which personality you sit in. That is purely about what do I feel like, what feels like me. And if I'm talking about my style journey, actually that's where I started, because as I said in my last video, I didn't feel like me when I was getting dressed. I didn't feel like I was being myself. I don't know who I was being. I don't think I was being someone else. I just didn't feel like I was being me enough, but I also didn't really know what that meant. Now I do a lot more. Sure, I'm not finished with the journey, but now I do a lot more. So that was a bit of a digression into what the style personality is. You can define it how you want. If you want to join the group, Anna can take you through it in a much more structured way. There's questionnaires and stuff, but obviously I can't share the specifics of her questionnaire content, but they're pretty simple. And if you have, say, celebrities that you like to follow and, you know, that's what I'd like to look like, then you can take that inspiration and you can say, I want a Scarlett Johansson look, I want a Helen Mirren look, that sort of thing, because often celebrities, some of the more well-known ones for how they dress will epitomise one of these styles, so you can take your lead there. So moving on to what I said this video is about, which is colour, and it is. So there's two sides of what I was going to talk about here. There's kind of the side of my colours, that's what I know best. I can't do you a colour analysis because I don't know how, but I have done a little bit of research so that you, those of you who aren't the same colouring as me, which will be most of you by the law of averages, will be able to have a jumping off point, and I'll put a couple of links down below to resources that I've found useful. But again, Anna can help you a lot. For some people, it's something that you might need to have done in person. So think back to the 1980s, if you were alive at that point, and a lot of us were. You may have been a certain age, maybe you had your colours done, that's what we all called it. Oh, that's what my mum called it that back then. And it involves draping a lot of fabric, which is a good thing for us who like fabric, but different colour swatches on your body to see how that looks. And the stylist who's doing the analysis will already have an idea from some basic information, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So if I begin at the end, I'm just going to pick up, so what I ended up with was a wallet, and it's got a whole bunch of colour swatches in, and essentially these are my colours. They come to sections so you can take them shopping. They also slide out. So these are my colours. Why are they my colours? Well, these are the colours that work best with my skin tone, skin undertone, my eye colour, my hair colour. Basically, those are the things that are going to define it. Now, back in the day, it was called spring, summer, autumn, winter, 4 categories. Nowadays, there are 6 categories, and you usually have more than one. So you'll be probably dominant in one, but then aspects of others. So it's much more personalised, much more unique. So you're not just 1 out of 4, and apparently all humans are supposed to be 1 of 4. That doesn't feel very likely, does it? But if you take 6 categories and then you've got the multiple combinations of those categories, that feels like it's much more likely to fit more of us. And indeed it does. So mine are cool and clear and deep. So what does that mean? Bit of the theory, okay? So the biggest thing it's based on is the contrast between your hair colour and your skin colour. So with me, there is a really strong contrast. I have naturally very dark hair, even though some of it's grey now, and I've got naturally really quite pale skin. So the contrast there is very clear. So the contrast between basically skin, eyes, hair whether they are colours that are far apart or whether they are colours that are closer together, will define whether you are clear or soft. I've got it open on the laptop there because I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything wrong. So that's why I'm a clear, because there is a clear distinction between eyes that are light and hair that is dark, skin that is light and hair that is dark. Now this system is relevant for multi-ethnic, any skin tone. I'm going to be honest, I only have my skin tone, so I can really only speak from my experience, but it does cover every skin tone, from the darkest of dark skin to incredibly pale skin, because there are other aspects to it. And even with dark skin, you're going to have different shades of how dark that is. You're going to have different eye colours and different levels of contrast in that. So if, for example, you've got light skin but you've also got brown eyes and brown hair, you're more likely to be soft rather than clear, because there is a soft amount of contrast. The gap between those colours is much narrower. So that's one distinction between clear and soft. Have you got definite contrast, or are the colours quite close together? One of the links will say this stuff in a bit more detail. The next is between cool and warm, and this is about the undertone of your skin. So again, not about your fundamental skin colour, but about the undertone of your skin, and whether it is the undertone is red purple in nature or yellowish in nature. Now nobody's actually all red or all yellow, and I found another link down below. A good way of describing it is, what colour are the veins under here? So I'm quite easy to define because I clearly have rosiness in my cheeks, especially without makeup. But another way to do it is, what colour are the veins close to your skin? So this is often where veins are close to skin. So if those veins are blue or purple, mine are very distinctly blue or purple, then you are likely, or you have a cool undertone. So the underneath colour under your skin is from the cool end of the spectrum, the blues and the reds. If your veins are blue-greeny, then you've kind of got a neutral undertone. If they are green or olive, which I don't think I've ever seen, but that's because I generally only stare at my own veins, but it is a thing. So if there's more of an olive or a green tone to the veins underneath your skin, then you are more likely to have a warm undertone. So that's the cool, warm spectrum. So we've got clear, soft, which is about hair, eyes, skin, big contrast, close together. And then we've got cool or warm, which is about the undertone of your skin. So very red, rosy skin is going to be cool, but you can also check the veins. So that would be blue, purple veins would be cool undertone. A more yellow based skin tone, and again this can be a light skin or a very dark skin. More yellow based is going to be a warmer undertone, but you can also have a look at the veins, and if they're more of a greeny blue or an olive colour, then that also indicates that they're more of a warm. So those are two. And then the last one is light deep contrast, and this comes back again to hair, eyes kind of contrast really. So these, as you can hear, I am referring to hair colour quite a lot. Some of us change our hair colour quite a lot, and that can shift. It's not going to shift your skin tone, but it can shift then which colours are going to suit you best out of the underlying range of colours. So with a light, your hair colour is going to be light, and your skin is light for your ethnicity. I'm having to read this because I'm not familiar with this. And your eyes are a light colour, so light blue, green or grey. Okay, so if that's you, then you will be in the light category. But if you are deep, you've got dark hair and darker eyes. Okay, so deep is my third one, because clearly I have light eyes but I have dark hair, and to some extent it's the last one that you consider. For some people it'll be standout, for other people it'll be like, well, there's some contradiction there, so what do other things lead you to? And because for me I've got this contrast, the clear contrast of light skin, dark hair, and I've got dark hair, that leads to deeper colours. Now, what difference all this makes is that if I put shades in the middle of the colour spectrum, like browns, yellows, they look awful on me. They don't make my skin shine. They don't make my eyes look good. They flatten everything down and they look, frankly, they look terrible. And you can try this with stuff in your wardrobe. What I used to find was I would look at my wardrobe and I would think, oh, I've got no yellow. Well, I need to go out and buy some yellow. It must be not having yellow that is making me feel bad. And I may have said this in the last video, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I remember how often I went through this circle, look in my wardrobe and go, well, it's all blue. There's a bit of red. I didn't have pink for ages because I was rebelling against girly things. I'm over that now, but I didn't have pink for ages either. But I would look at it and I'd be like, oh, there's no yellow and there's no orange. So it must be those colours that I need to go and buy more of to make me feel like I'm doing better with this colour thing. It wasn't true. I didn't have those colours because I was already instinctively buying them, trying them for a bit, and then going, ugh, I feel awful in this. I don't like it at all. And it went to the charity shop. So I was already instinctively doing that, and you may find if you look through your own wardrobe that there are colours in there that you just don't reach for. And the other part is the combination of colours. So here, white, black, or on the pattern, I've got pink and I've got black. It's a high contrast. They're not close together. If I had, I don't know, kind of mid-brown, a taupe shirt, and then a mid-brown dress with colours that were all kind of quite close to each other, could look absolutely beautiful on the right person. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what we're talking about. But on me, it would just look blah, because it doesn't work with where the colour palette already starts for my body. So I can change my hair colour. I could wear contacts, but I'm not doing that. If we just go with what I actually have to work with. So my hair colour, my skin colour, my eye colour, I get up and I wear that whether I like it or not every day. So that's where my colours have to start from, and that's been the huge difference. So for me, bringing it back to what I found, you can see, so that everyone's got neutrals, so you will see there is some brown in there, but not much, for example. But for me, it's all about basically blue, pink and green. And you can see how they are pretty bright colours. There's not much pastel, although there are some, because there's like a minty green up here. And there's some pastel-y blues. I can pretty much wear any blue. And with the pinks and the reds, I can wear lots of them, but I've got to be careful that they are all blue based. So coral, which is super fashionable at the moment, really like the colour in principle. It's awful for me because it's too orangey. You will see also there is not a single yellow there. That's because there is not a single yellow in the world that I could wear that would look good on me. Same with orange, because it is too warm, it's too fiery, it doesn't work with my skin tone. There will be those of you out there that it looks amazing on. I see pictures all the time. I'm really jealous because they're beautiful colours, but they're not beautiful on me. If you love those colours, so here's where you have to start personalising it. Say you absolutely love yellow and you just heard all of that and you're like, ugh, I think yellow might not be one of my colours. What am I going to do? I love it. I don't like this idea. I'm throwing it away. Actually, what you need to do is these colours are most important with the ones near your face. So wear yellow trousers, wear a yellow skirt, wear yellow shoes, have a yellow bag, have a yellow necklace maybe, depending on what else you've got with it. So, you know, go dominant with, for example, navy blue. If I desperately wanted to wear yellow, if I put like a navy blue jumper on in the winter and a yellow necklace, that could look fine because the dominant colour in that, the yellow will pop out, but the dominant colour about my skin will be blue. I'm always going to have to be a little bit careful with those colours and more considered, but I could wear yellow trousers if I really wanted to, and as long as the upper half was the right colour for me, so a white or a green or a mint or whatever went with the stuff. Again, navy blue, it is classic, so that might be how I would make it work. Having this, so having these boundaries I have found super helpful. I think there is a way of having this and feeling constrained, and that is a thing, but I've actually found it really, really helpful. I carry this every time I go shopping. I have it on the sofa if I'm internet shopping. It's really blooming hard to internet shop and try and get the right colours, but that's always been the case. Now I'm just even pickier. If I'm internet shopping, I will only buy from my really safe places, which is blues, proper red pinks, not orange pinks. If I'm not sure, I won't touch it. The greens have all got to be blue greens, but that's not so hard to get wrong. But I've tried buying red on the internet. It's just not working. And people don't understand, this annoys me, pet hate. People don't understand the question, in my experience, especially on Vinted. Is that a red blue or is that an orangey? Sorry, is that a bluish red or is that an orangey red? I ask that question all the time, and every time I get the answer, well, it's just red. And I face palm and I don't buy the thing. Because I've tried it, I've taken the risk, and every time I just get an orange red. It's like, no, it doesn't work. Red is a really difficult one for me. The right red, amazing. The wrong red, awful. It's a very Marmite colour. So for me, having these boundaries, having these guidance, I will go through a fabric shop and I will hold them against it. And you can get more intelligent, because it's not like if it doesn't match exactly, you can't use it. It's more understanding, why are these colours here? So, like I've said, all the greens on here are blue-based greens. All the pinks for me on here are red-based, blue-based pinks, sorry. Everything is blue-based, basically. The purples are more blue-based, although they would be struggling to. The greys are blue-based, and the red is definitely towards the pink end of the spectrum and not the orange end of the spectrum. So you don't have to just match everything on here, but I've found it super useful. So I feel like that's been a really long description, but I hope that you've understood the principles behind it. It's skin, hair, eyes, and you've got these 4 things. You've got light, deep, you've got warm, cool, and you've got clear, soft. And they're all about colour contrast and what matches with what nature gave you in terms of the colour mix of your skin, eyes and hair. And then just saying a little bit about my specific colours, which are all very bluish because of that blue undertone to my skin. That's why it's not going to make me look blue. It makes my eyes bluer, it really does. Get a really good blue against my skin and my eyes are super blue. Put grey there, and if it's not a bluish grey, then they're quite flat. It's amazing when you see it work in action, honestly. So I hope you've understood the principles. If you want to go away, there are colour analysts all over the world, not just all over this country. So if you're super inspired and you want to find one, there's a link down below to Colour Me Beautiful, who were back in the day the original people who did this. There are other colour analysts out there, but just as a starting point. You can always join Anna's group, and she can do for some skin types and some looks, it's actually quite easy for her to analyse it online. I think basically because she's got magic powers. So she could help you even if you're not in Yorkshire, which is where she is physically based. If you wanted to meet her, she may be able to help you online. It wouldn't be a free service, but then it's her profession, so why would she do that for free? Thank you for watching. The next part of the jigsaw is going to be all about shapes, so about body shapes, not size, not about body size, body shapes, and laid on top of that, clothes shapes that work with body shapes and why, what makes those work. So I hope you will tune in next time, and that is where we're going. See you soon. Bye.